What's up, family? For those of you that are seniors, elderly individuals, someone that receives Social Security, SSI, SSDI, or any of those, I have a question for you. Do you feel like things are getting better for you, or do you feel like things are continuing to get worse? If you said worse, you are probably feeling like majority of Americans, of our seniors, that depend on government assistance. And unfortunately, things may be about to get even worse. In less than 60 days, Congress, lawmakers on Capitol Hill, have to decide whether or not to raise the debt ceiling. Yes, guys, it is true. The United States debt ceiling crisis could actually delay some Social Security payments. And this is going to affect millions of Americans that receive Social Security, those individuals that are our seniors, those individuals that are on SSI, SSDI, and all of the above under the umbrella. Yes, Social Security payments could be delayed if Congress fails to raise the debt ceiling increase. But anyways, guys, yes, Congress is expected to negotiate over the next less than 60 days or so in order to figure out whether or not they want to raise the debt ceiling. And just to remind you guys that every time in the past, the debt ceiling has always been raised on pretty much a bipartisan way. So again, why would we expect anything different this time? However, we do have lawmakers on both sides of the aisle, Democrats as well as Republicans. They are not able to agree on anything as of now, and it appears that they are not even negotiating in regards to raising the debt ceiling. Yes, we all know that President Biden said that this is not something that he is willing to negotiate, in which it should be raised like it has been many times in the past. But anyways, guys, like I said, even a short delay in this particular raising of the debt ceiling increase could still be a big burden for Americans that are relying on Social Security for half of their income, according to the experts. And yes, guys, a decades-old law could protect the Social Security even if the United States debt ceiling isn't raised in time to avoid a default, according to a recent report. That is some good news. The Social Security escape clause from the debt limit enacted by Congress in 1996 allows the Treasury Department to draw down Social Security trust funds to pay the benefits. It prohibits the disinvestment of the Social Security trust funds for any purpose other than the payment of benefits, according to Concord Coalition report that was issued last week. So in other words, guys, the trust funds for the Social Security can only be used to issue Social Security benefits and not to pay the United States government's other outstanding bills. This is some good news, guys. Given the current balance in the Social Security trust funds, which is around $2.8 trillion as of right now, the government would be able to ensure the payment of Social Security benefits and the trust fund, the rest of the government as well, for a considerable period without increasing the debt limit. Now, Robinson, which said in this particular report, as long as there is a positive balance in the Social Security trust funds, which, like I just said, they have $2.8 trillion right now, the Treasury Secretary has both the authority and the obligation to pay Social Security benefits. But anyways, guys, that is some very good news. However, we are still dealing with the raising of the U.S. debt ceiling before the deadline, which, just to remind you guys, that deadline is approaching very quickly. In fact, less than 60 days. We are talking about sometime they're expected to run out of money in the month of June. However, it could actually happen much sooner than that. But it looks like June is going to be the official time frame in which they are going to hit their debt ceiling, which is around $31.4 trillion. And again, the United States hit its $31.4 trillion limit on January the 19th of this year, but the Department of Treasury has been undertaking a set of extraordinary measures to help the government service its debt, according to the Secretary of Treasury, Janet Yellen. She said this in a letter that she sent directly to Congress. Now, the Secretary of Treasury also said that she had calculated that these particular measures that she has taken would be sufficient through the early part of June. So if Congress fails to raise or suspend the debt limit before June, the federal government would run out of money to pay all of its obligations. That includes the $90 billion monthly Social Security payments that made to 65 million recipients, according to the National Committee to Preserve Social Security and Medicare. And Medicare and Medicaid payments could also be delayed if Congress fails to raise or suspend the debt limit before the deadline in June. So anyways, guys, this is sort of some good news, but it is also some bad news. And we don't necessarily know whether or not they are going to use this particular clause that was mentioned in here just in case the Congress is unable to pass or raise the debt limit. We still don't know whether or not they will actually use this particular clause that we just spoke about. But if they are, that is a good thing. That means that payments will still go on to our Social Security recipients. However, if they don't obligate to use these particular clause, then these particular payments for our Social Security, 65 million people, could actually be delayed, guys. That could be trouble ahead because we know that Americans are struggling right now. Social Security recipients are struggling right now. Those individuals that are on SSI, SSDI, VA beneficiaries, our seniors, everyone is struggling right now, including myself, guys. We are all struggling in this economy. So we cannot afford to have these Social Security payments delayed. What are they thinking, guys? So anyways, guys, hopefully, or not necessarily hopefully, but if they fail to raise the debt limit, then hopefully they will choose to use this particular escape clause for Social Security, which would pretty much enact them to still be able to use some of that $2.8 trillion to go ahead and pay for those Social Security payments that are due every single month. So again, guys, hopefully we don't have to come to that, but if we do, they use this particular clause. Now, in addition to Social Security, guys, we did receive a new poll that came out earlier this week in regards to whether or not how people felt on raising the age limit for the retirement age for Americans. And yes, we do have a recent poll that was just released, and I want to give you those particular numbers. It does say right here that 65% in a new poll is against lifting the retirement age for Americans in their 20s. Guys, we know that this has been a very hot topic over the last few months or so, and now they're putting out different polls trying to figure out how the American people feel about this idea of raising the retirement age. And this would only be affecting those individuals that are in their 20s right now. It doesn't necessarily affect those individuals that are like 60 or either 55 or so. So anyways, guys, but I want to know what you guys think about this, because I know majority of you individuals on my channel are over the age of 50 years old. So I definitely want to get your take on this and how you feel about whether or not they should raise the retirement age to 65. Now, just to remind you guys that right now you can actually retire at the age of 62, but they are trying to figure out how Americans feel about raising it to the age of 65. Now, the biggest question is, will the United States continue to maintain the Social Security Trust Fund, in which is projected to run out of money over the next 9 or 10 years or so? Will this particular thing be in place if they raise the retirement age to 65? We still don't know, guys. There are still other discussions around that same subject as well. So I think that it really depends on how they decide to use this particular Social Security Trust Funds as far as holding people's money until retirement age and then being able to send out monthly payments to them for the rest of their lives. But anyways, let me know what you think about this, raising the retirement age to 65 for those individuals that are in their 20s right now. Let me know how you feel about that. Comment down below in the comment section. But anyways, guys, moving on, we do need to talk about the idea that was proposed a couple of months ago in regards to raising the Social Security payments by $2,400 annually. This particular proposal was introduced by Bernie Sanders as well as Elizabeth Warren a couple of months ago, in which this is kind of a reintroduced bill, and this was reintroduced to Congress, in which they are still trying to fight the raising of Social Security benefits. They want to raise it by $200 per month, and pretty much Bernie Sanders ended up introducing this particular plan that laid out all of the details in regards to how he plans on raising the money for this, how he wants to give the Social Security beneficiaries this additional money, these additional checks. He wants to expand Social Security, which is something that President Biden has talked about ever since he was on the campaign trail in regards to reforming Social Security. However, he has failed on the job, so we really can't depend on him as of now, but we can depend on Bernie Sanders because he has been fighting for our Social Security beneficiaries for quite some time, in which they recently introduced this particular bill, which is called the Social Security Expansion Act, and they reintroduced this back in February directly to Congress. And at this particular time, he had a lot more support from fellow lawmakers than he has in the past. So this particular time, pushing this particular particular initiative has more support, has more throttle behind it, has more people supporting it, and hopefully it gets more traction than we have seen in the past. So anyways, guys, that is still on the table. It has not gone anywhere as of yet, so that is some good news. We are still going to fight for this because we desperately know that our Social Security beneficiaries desperately need an increase, and they need more than $2,400 a year. Wouldn't you guys agree? But right now, this is on the table. We still have to get lawmakers on both sides of the aisle to commit to this, to agree to this, that this is actually needed. It pretty much needs to be a requirement for our Social Security recipients. Hopefully, guys, it happens early this year. Keep your fingers crossed, guys. Keep your fingers crossed. But anyways, guys, hey, that's all we have for you today. I hope all this information in this video was helpful to you today. Well, anyways, guys, hey, that's all I have for you today. But feel free to check out some of the items down below in the description. There are a few ways for you to be able to support this channel, as well as some opportunities for you to receive things like 12 free stocks from Webull after depositing anything above 1 penny, as well as you can get 17 stocks from signing up with Moomoo as well. So anyways, those are just a few. But if you are interested, check out all of the links down below in the description. But anyways, if you enjoyed today's content and you want to see more, go ahead, subscribe to the channel. It's totally free. And if you like today's video, then go ahead and hit the like button for us. It really helps out this channel, as well as it tells YouTube to share this video with others. But anyways, hey, I appreciate you guys stopping by and watching, and I hope to see you on the next video. Peace.